Good evening, distinguished guests, faculty members, and students from School of Planning and Architecture, Vijayawada. On behalf of this institute of national importance, it is my privilege to extend a warm and respectful welcome to the observance of World Habitat Day 2025 in association with IEI, AP State Center, Indian Plumbing Association Amravati Chapter, IIA AP Chapter, Institute of Urban Designers, Hyderabad Center, and ITPI. For setting the context and knowing about the World Habitat Day, we welcome Mr. Rajiv, Assistant Professor, Department of Planning, to deliver a short welcome address.
Good evening to all. Uh, Respected director, distinguished guest, faculty members, colleagues, dear students, a very warm welcome to all who have gathered here on behalf of School of Planning and Architecture Vijayawada as we come together today to commemorate the World Habitat Day 2025. I take this as a privilege to host and welcome you all as part of this World Habitat Day, an occasion which reminds us of our collective responsibility towards shaping sustainable, inclusive, and resilient human settlements. Every year, just to introduce you to what is World Habitat Day and a background, the first Monday of October, that is today, is celebrated globally as the World Habitat Day, as declared by the United Nations, to reflect on the state of our towns and cities and on the basic right of all to adequate shelter. This year, the World Habitat Day 2025, observed on the 6th of October, spotlights the theme Urban Crisis Response, which we have here, as a subject of growing global urgency amid the mounting challenges such as climate change, conflicts, and inequality that surrounds us. As adapted by the UN Habitat's Urban Recovery Framework, just to set the tone for today's discussion, and the Global Alliance for Urban Crisis 2019, urban crisis response refers to the coordinated and adaptive actions undertaken by governments, institutions, and communities to prevent, prepare for, and recover from complex urban crises arising from climate impacts, conflicts, or socioeconomic shocks, while simultaneously laying the foundations for long term urban resilience and sustainability. If we see this in the Indian context, it resonates strongly with national missions such as the Smart City Mission, the Amrit 2.0, the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Urban, the National Mission on Sustainable Habitat, all of these which aim to enhance urban resilience, inclusivity, and environmental sustainability. So, all these initiatives, together with the programs on climate adaptation and disaster risk reduction, embody India's commitment to advancing the Sustainable Development Goals through city level transformations. This year, in particular, observance provides a critical platform for academia, professionals, and institutions to reflect on the efforts and explore innovative pathways to building resilient and equitable cities. At SP Vijayawada, this theme of urban crisis response resonates deeply within our mission of promoting sustainable spatial development through education, innovation, and research. As planners, architects, designers, and development enthusiasts of tomorrow, we all have this collective responsibility not just to design urban spaces, but to ensure that these spaces can endure, recover, and evolve in the face of the uncertain future. In this context, our deliberations today will revolve around three sub themes, which together frame our response to the idea of urban crisis response. Just to introduce to you all the sub themes, we have the sub theme on inclusive urban resilience or urban aspect. We have a sub theme on urban planning efficiency and a sub theme on inclusivity as such. Today, through these discussions, the expert sessions, and student interactions, which soon we'll be having, we aim to reflect on how planning and design can move beyond the crisis management towards creating cities that are proactive, compassionate, and sustainable. So, once again, I warmly welcome all guests dignitaries, faculty members, on behalf of School of Planning and Architecture, Vijayawada, may I wish that all this event or throughout this event, we take the inputs and we take inspiration to collectively act and contribute meaningfully to shaping resilient habitats. Thank you, one and all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your insightful words. We are privileged to have amongst us distinguished guests, esteemed faculty, professionals from allied disciplines, staff, and enthusiastic students. It is our honor to host this formal gathering in recognition of the critical role cities play in shaping a sustainable future.
We begin today's proceedings by welcoming our guests of honor, Sri Professor Dr. Ramesh Srikonda, Director and ITPI Council Member, Sri Professor Dr. MLS Devakumar, FEI Chairman Representative, IEI Institute of Engineers, India, AP State Center, Srimati Dr. Sandeepani Vajay, Chairperson, India Plumbing Association, Amravati Chapter, Sri G. Karthik, Chairman of IUDI, Hyderabad Center, Sri KV Uma Maheshwar Rao, Registrar, SPAV. We thank you for gracing this occasion with your presence.
To mark the auspicious beginning of today's proceedings, I respectfully invite the distinguished guests to come forward and light the ceremonial lamp. To mark the auspicious beginning of today's proceedings, I respectfully invite the distinguished guests to come forward and light the ceremonial lamp. To commence the event, we invite everyone to rise for the SPAV anthem presented by our students.
नभ से निकला सूर्य सुनहरा, उदय हुआ नवचार। कला योजना में देश हमारा, अब रचे नया संसार। नभ से निकला सूर्य सुनहरा, उदय हुआ नवचार। कला योजना में देश हमारा, अब रचे नया संसार। सुलभ संस्कृति शान हमारी, सर्वधर्म है पहचान। कला योजना में देश का बढ़ाए सम्मान, धन्य हो जाए धरा हमारी, चलो इसे पुलकित बनाए। कायम रहे प्रकृति हमारी, हम ऊंचाई को पाए। नभ से निकला सूर्य सुनहरा, उदय हुआ नवचार। वास्तुकला योजना में विद्यालय हमारा, अब रचे नया संसार, अब रचे नया संसार।
Thank you to the student performers for that dignified rendition.
We now invite our respected director, Sri Professor Dr. Ramesh Srikonda, to deliver the inaugural address.
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening to everyone. I would like to extend my warm welcome to Professor Dr. MLS Devakumar, FEI Chairperson, IEI, Institute of Engineers India, AP State Center. Architect G. Vivekananda Swami, ex-chairperson, Indian Institute of Architects, AP Chapter. Dr. Sandeepini, chairperson, Indian Plumbing Association, Amaravati Chapter. Welcome, madam. Dr. G. Karthik, chairperson of Hyderabad Center, IUDI, and all the delegates from the institute on the dais and as well as off the dais. There are so many experts and so many other eminent personalities, even including our students gathered here to celebrate this World Habitat Day. It is not only the World Habitat Day today, World Architecture Day, and also observes the World Geodiversity Day. We came together here to celebrate the particular theme of urban crisis response. Especially when we talk about the geodiversity, is a natural variety of non-living features and processes within the Earth's surface and substances, including the rock, minerals, soils, fossil fuels, landforms, whatnot, everything, even hydrological systems. As you know, the World Habitat Day specifically focusing on how habitats to be designed or planned in a proper way so that the livable conditions we can able to establish. Then specific theme what has been given is that is urban challenges. It is not one, there are several. As you know very well that because of rapid growth of a population, which includes the shortage of housing and slum proliferations and strained infrastructure, either it is a social infrastructure or is a physical infrastructure, and problems related to the water, transportation, and widespread population, where we can see that totally like downtown to the fringe areas and extent of the pollution what we are keep seeing and experiencing it. All such challenges, not one, there are so many, even including the slums and rental housing schemes. And also like how the group development where we have to create a kind of an environment for specific to the livelihood which we can able to generate. There are n number of challenges what we have, and how these crises, these kind of challenges can be addressed, even specific relevance to the and reference to the coastal areas where we generally experience cyclones and the floods. If you start thinking about the Indian knowledge systems and also how our earlier settlements were planned, even the downtown areas of the old settlements, hardly we see any flooding. But only the flooding and other things wherever we experience, it is only in the low-lying areas and covering of all wells which we are having, tanks and wells, and encroachments on areas where we are not supposed to be. All such areas really inundating to kind of a waterlogging areas and floods and all other items we are keep experiencing it. It is not like one, it is having so much of so much of influence on different areas. That's what we generally talk about climate change. That is also adding another difficulty or another challenge to our livelihood. The way the urban cities, urban areas are growing, the heat island effect, and also the disasters what we see, man-made or as well as natural disasters, all such kind of challenges what we have here. We being an architects, engineers, urban designers, and specific to certain areas where we address like even plumbing services and all other areas, essentially required for a unit level, at a building level, a cluster level, maybe at a group cluster levels, and also neighborhood level to the city level. For not only the planning of the cities we have to address, we have to think about at a micro to macro and macro to micro how such things to be addressed, specific to the knowledge base what we are having it. Especially the school what we have here is really nurturing students in the areas where that planning and as well as an architecture and urban engineering and management with an urban design, all areas, all the programs what we are doing, it has got lot of social responsibility and responsibility to address the urban crisis. Crises are not normal. This is the hour of the day where we think about such challenges. In what extent we as the professionals can able to address, can able to really work out appropriate solutions. Especially the technological advancements, whatever we have seen, either it is artificial intelligence or IoT or AI, AR, VR, or even machine learning, so many other advanced technology we have in our hand. Still, we are not in a position to address it appropriately. There may be so many reasons. What are all those reasons? How we can able to really bell the cat, take the kind of a settlements in a better direction. For such things only, this particular theme has been worked out. Those are the urban challenges which we can able to think of. Either if you look at it, traffic and transportation, or even you look at the urban cohesiveness, what we can able to integrate it with the landscape, which gives the better life to the habitants. All other items where meticulously, carefully, as a professional, if you look at it, we can really work out the solutions. For to work out such solutions, to really bring out a kind of a environment where others are the migrants and as well as the habitants, where they can able to improve their livelihood and improve and bring the livable conditions, such kind of a conditions where how we can able to do it, these kind of a challenges only it can be addressed by architects and engineers. So this is the day where we have to really look at it. Every time different themes will come. This time theme is very interesting. This theme really makes us to understand the gravity of the problem, so we can really bring these items into our curriculum and also into our practice, where the things can be taken to the better level to enjoy the urban environment and addressing the challenges whatever we are having. With this brief note, I welcome you all to the celebration of these all three together: World Habitat Day and World International what is that? Geodiversity Day, and also World Architecture Day. Wish you all the best. Dhanyavad. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
We are grateful for your inspiring words and guidance.
May I now request the representative of the IEI Andhra Pradesh State Center, Shri Professor Dr. MLS Devakumar, to address the gathering.
Respected Director of the School of Planning and Architecture, Vijayawada, Professor Ramesh Garu, and beloved Registrar Garu, and other dignitaries, Vivekananda Swami Garu, Sandarni Garu, and Karthik Garu, and of the dais, Institution of Engineers, Andhra Pradesh State Center Honorary Secretary, Professor A.V. Naresh Babu Garu, immediate past chairman, Dr. C.V. Sriram Garu, and Chief Engineer retired for IP Transco, Ramanjanel Garu, and Marine Engineer Babu Rajendra Prasad Garu, and all faculty members and budding planners and architects who are going to be show solutions to a lot of urban challenges. Press and media, ladies and gentlemen, and good evening all of you, and wishes on this World Habitat Day and World Geodiversity Day and World Arctics Day. So at the outset, on behalf of Institution of Engineers, Andhra Pradesh State Center, State Committee, I convey my wishes to all of you, and I must thank the institution which is prominently located and doing a lot of human services in every aspect, School of Planning and Architecture. So I must thank Director Garu and all the team. So in recent days, it is my second visit to School of Planning and Architecture. So when there was a program, MIT University has conducted a program, I could attend. I could meet a lot of faculty members on that day. I could see the contribution of each and every at your department level and at your personal level. So definitely, there is no doubt that our Director Garu is a prominent person. He is having a lot of reverence at the Minister of Education, Government of India, and putting a lot of prominent contributions in your respective areas. So, friends, many of you may be knowing that Institution of Engineers India is established in 1920, and it is putting its efforts for shaping and giving proper training to the engineers, basically. So, when there was no engineering colleges, Institution of Engineers used to give it was one of the awarding body of engineering certificate with the name of AMIE, and I'm very happy to learn just now that our Ramesh Garu also is a AMIE. He has almost completed a lot of courses in the AMIE also. So really very happy. So the Institute of Engineers still it is putting its efforts in making training to the working engineers and as well as budding engineers, and is having a lot of policy making, taking part in the policy making of Government of India and as well as state governments. So coming to this World Habitat Day, being engineers or mere engineers cannot give solutions to many of the crises which are emerging. No doubt, engineers play a vital role in a lot of solution providing, but mere engineering is not possible, especially coming to this issue of urban crisis. The main role comes along with engineers or the planners and architects. We have seen the history, and we I think every one of you will accept with me, joins with me that in our tradition we used to have a lot of urban infrastructure those in those days. The cities constructed way long back before BCE era, we could see a lot of planning and a lot of architecture was there. So still today, we are facing a lot of challenges with respect to all this providing solutions to urban infrastructure. So we are having that knowledge imbibed in our culture. So we are missing a lot of things in recent days. Friends, if you see the independent India, we were in a position of having a slogan of roti, kapada or makan. So now from that stage, we have come to a different stage where we are using latest technologies. We are shifting our population to different locations, especially urbanization is taking place with a very higher pace. So maybe you might have observed in the olden days, majority of the settlements or majority of the habitats used to have on the banks of rivers or on shores, seashores. There were the cities used to exist in the banks of rivers or maybe at the seashores. So now the challenges are increased a lot, and slowly we are shifting into the land. So middle of the land now being treated as the safest places because of the situations like wars, situations like other natural calamities, where directors are rightly pointed out climate changes and a lot of challenges, climatic challenges. So people are shifting to different locations, and industrialization has taken another phase where lot of industries were emerged near the water resources, and majority of the and inland locations, and where that was emerged as a cities or towns. So the exodus of people happened place from villages or rural areas to the cities. So this trend has been continuing throughout the world. This trend has been continuing throughout the world. And today we are having different challenges now. So density of population is increasing because of this urbanization, and the infrastructure, and at the same time facilities and standards of living are becoming a challenge. So we are throughout the world we are discussing on sustainable development goals. SDG 11 clearly says the need of proper infrastructure, and we should work, and we have to toil a lot for attaining all these sustainable development goals. Friends, you or especially younger generation are having a lot of responsibility in giving solutions to all these challenges. You can do a lot of contributions for giving a proper solutions for all these challenges. So through Institution of Engineers, we are trying to meet some of these challenges. But along with all the people who are sitting on the dais, they are representing different prominent bodies which are working towards the giving solutions to these urban challenges. Friends, it is the responsibility of government, and it is the responsibility of non-government organizations. It is the responsibility of professional bodies, and it is the responsibilities of every citizen for work towards the sustainability and having the deriving solutions for these urban challenges. Yes, technology has increasing at a very higher pace. We can make use of the technology to resolve many of these challenges. So we are having a lot of now physically we need not be at one place. Remotely we can operate many things. So only urbanization coming to urban areas may not be the required for today's situation of uh, uh, using technology. We can have a diverse habitats, and at the same time connectivity has become very good now. So virtually we can have a lot of connectivity. By through this we can find out a lot of challenges. So if you see the towns or cities which are emerged within last 100 years, they are not having proper transportation facility, and they are not having proper water facilities. They are not having proper other infrastructure. These are the becoming challenges. So let us prepare our action plan down the line, especially for our country, to have a what do you call comfortable habitats with using the technology. Right? Let us think in that direction whenever you plan, whenever you design, whenever you do a lot of things. So definitely let us take with the help of government and with the help of local bodies, let us derive an action plan, and let us derive a framework for attaining the solutions for urban crisis. It is very much easy, especially for our country, and we can do a lot of solutions for this. This is the thing I would like to put forth before all of you on behalf of Institution of Engineers. Let us work together. Definitely we'll have a lot of occasions to find out, derive issue-based solutions for all the crises which are being emerging in this era. Thank you all of you. Thank you for your patient listening. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your meaningful contribution.
Now I request Dr. Sandeepani Vajay, the chairperson of Indian Plumbing Association, Amravati chapter, to address the gathering.
Good evening, everyone. The guests on the dais and off the dais and all the students. Yes, I thought of speaking a lot, but already Ramesh sir has covered everything that I wanted to speak, and rest of the things are covered by our chief guest. So I'll try. I'll also try my part as I'm representing the Indian Plumbing Association here, and as a sustainability expert, I would like to put in few points which I have observed. And the first thing is, yes, the urban crisis is true, is real, but where is this urban crisis is starting? It is starting with the urbanization first. So urbanization throughout world, it is happening at the rate of maybe 1 to 1.5%, while India it is happening around 2 to 2.5%, which means it is double. And yes, parallelly, we are also developing the infrastructure to meet the requirements. And the infrastructure means it is not only just we are talking about the metropolitan cities, but we are also talking about tier 2 and tier 3 cities as well. So everywhere we are creating urban islands, I would say heat islands, which is trapping the heat for sure. And the global warming is happening and the climate change is happening. Everything is interrelated with one thing, one another. If you put all these things aside, and if we have to talk about two things, yes, there are senior professionals like Vivekananda sir and many other professionals, Ramesh sir, these are all the experts, senior experts, who have been working a lot on lot of innovative different projects, while there are also young generations who are coming up with lot of innovations. Young experts are coming, be it architects or engineers, everybody is coming forward, and they are also learning a lot of things. They are upgrading themselves time to time, like how we are doing it now. And when you come at the other hand, when you take the other hand, there are also certain standards which we are following, right? There are standards which are being upgraded again and again, time to time. There are also some codes which we are following, which we are upgrading again and again. And in the other hand, we are also having technologies which are developing at very fast pace. The only thing is, when it comes to this urbanization and urban crisis, are we actually integrating all these things? So yes, we have expertise, yes, we have technologies, yes, we have standards, but are we integrating this properly? This is one thing which came to my mind when we are talking about the crisis. Yes, like sir said, there is a flooding which is happening. When we are planning when we are planning a city now, it is not anymore like your building. Now it has the sustainability and all these things have gone beyond your building. It has gone to community level, it has gone to city level. So now it has gone to global level also. So what we can do is we can start integrating all these things. Yes, I understand you are all architects, and it is not just about designing a building for you anymore, because you have to learn lot of things now to integrate lot of things. Like for example, if you're designing a building, you also should understand what is the space designing that is required for the building services. You should also understand what can be the probable difficulties that you may face when you have to design your structural design for that particular design. And also, will there be any execution difficulties while executing our design? These are all the things that you have to learn, and you have to keep on learning. So what I suggest is to learn everything. Don't just restrict yourself, learn everything. And there are certain codes and standards which are being upgraded again and again based on the technologies. We can integrate all these things, and with the expertise of our seniors and all, we can learn a lot. And I think we can come out of this crisis, because every time there is a crisis, we always come up with solution. Where there is a problem, there will be a solution for sure. So we have to come up with that solution, and you are bearing a huge responsibility of this, because yes, we are done, we are going forward, but you are the generation who are going to take it forward. So it is in your hands now, that you have to take it forward in a better direction, so that we will not face this crisis anymore. And thank you so much for giving me this opportunity today, sir.
Thank you, ma'am, for your insightful and inspiring words.
Up next, we have a presentation by Amrit Center of Urban Planning for Capacity Building SPAV on thematic projects aligned with this year's theme. We invite the presenter to take the stage. We now invite the representative of the IUDI Hyderabad Center, Dr. G. Karthik, to deliver the address.
We request the dignitaries to be seated off the dais for as the upcoming address involves a presentation and a video.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to thank Professor Dr. Ramesh, Director Sir. I'm very thankful for creating this platform which has experts from various different disciplines, and we are here to discuss about cities. So that is what is overwhelming. And this year's theme being urban crisis response actually calls all of us to rethink how our cities can be adapted to uncertainty from floods to heat waves, from housing shortages to inequality. As an urban designer, I strongly believe that every crisis is also an opportunity. And this opportunity pushes us to design cities that are inclusive, sustainable, and human. Let us move from reaction to resilience and build urban habitats that protect both people and the planet. On this occasion, I would also like to thank our chief guest, Mr. Deva Kumar, for enlightening us on various urban challenges we have ahead in the future. Now, as part of the Institute of Urban Designers, which I represent from the Hyderabad Center, myself and my other two team members, Mr. Ashish and Mr. Ram Kumar, have made a short film to actually pose this question: can we rethink how we are going to rebuild our cities? The current state of our cities, what kind of response do we have, and what kind of future are we actually rethinking about our cities? It's a short 3-minute video. Enjoy the video. Thank you. Can I request to switch off all the lights, please? Yeah, also the lights along the seats, please. Yes. Thank you. Can we play the video?
Change organizations have
emissions of greenhouse gases.
Climate change is now happening.
Indonesia says it's
10 million tons of.
The Philippines stops a list.
Thank you. I hope the question is very clear for all of us to answer. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your insights and continued collaboration.
Up next, we have a presentation by one of the project teams of Amrit Center of Urban Planning for Capacity Building SPAV that align with this year's theme. We invite the presenters Dr. Rajkumari, Associate Professor of Department of Planning and of Architecture, and Mr. Krupakar, Project Officer, to take the stage.
Good evening, one and all. We will be presenting the project Urban Blue-Green Infrastructure Toolkit for Enhanced Resilience. This is a project under Amrut Center of Urban Planning for Capacity Building, School of Planning and Architecture, Vijayawada. The SPA Vijayawada has, under the Ministry of Education, signed an MOU with Mohua to establish this Amrut Center. Now, the activities of this center are capacity building, research projects, spatial data infrastructure, government advocacy, and industry advisory. Currently, there are 5 research projects that are happening in the center. So one would be in Vijayawada focusing on evolution of plan-driven low-emission zones, Tirupati focusing on energy-efficient spatial planning, Machilipatnam, that is our project, focusing on flood risk-enabled municipal planning, Amaravati focus on emergency vehicle optimized routing, and Hyderabad focusing on heat-resilient urban planning. I request Dr. Rajkumari ma'am to introduce our project.
Good evening, everyone. The critical aspect of climate change is the increasing frequency and severity of extreme weather events. Climate change is expected to change the frequency and intensity of rainfall, triggering more frequent flooding. Many Indian cities, particularly coastal cities, are already facing frequent flooding, causing extensive damage to the society and the city infrastructure. In addition, urban development increases flood risk in city due to local changes in the hydrological conditions. The increase of impermeable surfaces in cities reduces the infiltration of rainwater and increases surface runoff, resulting in urban flooding. Both climate change and urbanization exacerbate the flood risk in many coastal cities and strain existing urban infrastructure systems. So the project is on Urban Blue-Green Infrastructure Toolkit for enhanced resilience towards urban flooding, the case of Machilipatnam. In this scenario, the development of nature-based solutions such as blue-green infrastructure is recommended as the prime solution. BGI refers to the strategically planned network of natural and semi-natural areas with other environmental features designed to provide water resource management by introducing natural water cycle into urban environments. Over to you. You can continue.
Thank you, ma'am. As the name suggests, blue-green infrastructure is structures that provide both blue ecosystem services along with green ecosystem services. Now, that can be as simple structures as detention ponds or retention areas. Say you place a retention pond, Now that is acting both as a water storage structure. At the same time, the local habitat around the city can also enjoy this space. So these are basic structures of bio detention and retention areas. Filter strips and permeable pavements are one such structures, and stormwater tree and planters, where we are using these planters both as growing structures, growing medium for trees, and at the same time, during heavy rainfall, these structures act as storage structures. Green roofs and green walls as well. On a small scale site level, these are the implementable blue-green infrastructures such as infiltration basins, filter strips, retention areas, and wetlands. Some of the best practices happening around the world include Copenhagen, New York, Singapore. I'll just quickly take you through them. Whereas in Copenhagen, they've come up with a cloudburst management plan where the solutions include a detailed planning from the initial stage, coming up to how many dollars have been saved for each dollar invested based on the plan. New York has a green infrastructure map where they are mapping every blue-green infrastructure that has been implemented in the city. This website actually gives us information about how much water has been saved, how much runoff has been decreased, how much storage has been increased. At the same time, Singapore has a plan called ABC. They call it Active, Beautiful, Clean Water Campaign, where they are building blue-green infrastructures such as bioswales along the roads. Even in Chennai, the Sponge Collaborative in 2019 has started Adia Basin Vision. And coming to shallow water areas, because our study area, Machilipatnam, has a very high groundwater table. So if you dig 1 meter, there'll be groundwater. So what do we do in cases such as this, where we cannot infiltrate water? So some of the case studies, such as Water Plaza in Rotterdam, Netherlands, and Keelkund in Surat, they develop these structures which are low-lying, and during heavy rains, they capture all the water. Our methodology is such as this. We compared the BGI tools, we delineated the study area, we read the region, understanding the data that is in the region, developing a base case BGI map, and developing BGI elements for a neighborhood level. On a city scale, we have done a BGI suitability map to understand which areas of the city we can implement these infrastructures. Quickly introduce you to the study area. This is Machilipatnam. That is a coastal city located in Krishna district. It is the headquarters, and it has 25 mandals covering 3 revenue divisions. Now the significance of it is, as it is a coastal city, earlier during one of the presentations, sir said how earlier urbanization happened through the water side. Now Machilipatnam was one such city, but the flood in the 1800s that has drowned 30,000 population of Machilipatnam. Back then it used to be 60,000, and the floods have devastated 30,000 population, and now it is again a growing city. So this is one such problem, major problem with the city of Machilipatnam. The picture shows flooding events during August 2024, and also in the risk mapping for Machilipatnam Mandal, if we can see that the flooding has the highest risk. All the red marks show that the Machilipatnam is very vulnerable to flooding. Now, the analysis carried out by the team include watershed and flooding issues and challenges. A hydrological analysis, watershed delineation has been done to understand how the stream is flowing. Now, due to rapid urbanization, we have changed the natural drainage networks of the city. Well, the natural drainage network follows the elevation and the contour, whereas due to building of infrastructure, we have drastically changed it. So we wanted to understand how the natural watershed was working on in a city level, seeing how the water is flowing, because we had major canals that were passing throughout the Machilipatnam. We wanted to see if each and every drop of water is reaching that source. A micro watershed analysis to understand from which ward the water is flowing in which way, and a drainage density map to understand the drainage of the city. Now, a flood simulation based on all these thematic layers was carried out using ArcGIS to understand, say suppose a 200 mm rainfall is happening in a 5 hours time, which is the 10-year rainfall return period, then how much flooding is happening. So this is the map, and this is the simulation. So a 200 mm rainfall was simulated to understand how much flooding and at what areas flooding were happening. This was important because We just cannot randomly put a BJ infrastructure. We had to see which areas need to be developed and which areas need to be protected. So that allowed us to understand basically the major flooded areas. That brought us to a city scale plan, and at the same time understand a neighborhood level plan. So a suitability analysis for blue-green infrastructure was carried out. These were the criteria that were taken, basically how the land use is there, how is it sloping, what is the soil type, because soil type influences the infiltration of the water. If we have clay soil, then it takes longer time to infiltrate the water into the soil. So based on the criterions and the suitability ranks, a suitability map was developed. Now, all the red areas that you see are very low suitable for the implementation, whereas all the green areas are highly suitable. One common thing about all the green areas are that these are open public spaces. Machilipatnam is a city with large open government spaces. So majority of these institutions can be turned water positive. If we can stop water from becoming into runoff from all these major institutes, we can stop the flooding in the low-lying areas. The major issues and challenges of development is that they have open drains. So there's a combined drainage sewer system. All your rainwater and grey water goes into the same drain. There's a water hyacinth because of lots of minerals in the drains now. There's a lot of water hyacinth infestation that stops the water from flowing. There's a conflict between engineered drainage and natural flow patterns. This was understood basically because of our previous watershed analysis, that while the blue lines indicate the natural drainage systems, the engineered water systems are slightly differentiating between. And there's a tidal influence. As this is a coastal city, the high tides and low tides also influence the flooding. Say suppose there's a heavy rainfall and at the same time there's a high tide happening. The water from the city cannot be drained out into the sea. And at the same time, inadequate urban blue-green infrastructure. There are so many open spaces. All the yellow shows you residential and all the pink shows you open spaces, but very low green infrastructure. There's low greenery and a shallow water table. As mentioned, you dig 1 meter, you get water in Machilipatnam. So where do we take out all this water? We cannot infiltrate. Evaporation won't be happening because it's cloudy, it's raining. So I have to detain it for a time. I have to detain it so that we can hold from it becoming into the runoff and then later on slowly drain it out. A conceptual approach. These were the 5 conceptual solutions that were proposed. The first one, road being a stormwater conveyor. Now, while roads flooding is one thing, roads being a stormwater conveyor, when developed in a very proper gradient, they can allow water to flow in a very faster way. Stormwater storage, bioretention systems and retention ponds across all these government areas can actually save lakhs of liters of water and hold them on place. A surface storage, water plazas and squares as seen in Khelkund, Surat. Now this Machilipatnam also has so many schools, basketball courts, football grounds, or say swimming pools itself. Now what if I can store all the water and then release it slowly? Converting invasive biomass into usable products while improving water body health. So these are all the products that you see here are made out of water hyacinth. So this will also improve local living and at the same time create an employability, solve the problem as well. And an in situ water treatment. Because it is a combined sewerage system, we cannot allow both the rainwater along with the grey water to go into the go into the ocean directly. So an in situ water treatment has been need to be planned, where a decentralized ecological system can clean the water on the site and then allow it into the sea. A conceptual BJA plan is such as this, where major roads have been identified and across them green spaces have been developed. So these are the existing and the proposed road sections. This was one Kennedy Road, which had lots of scope, lots of right of way, which can be developed. These are other sections of the roads. At a neighborhood level also, from our initial city scale analysis, we've taken a small neighborhood level and then done a detailed water analysis. So that has brought us to the number of subcatchments. SWMM modeling has been used to understand exactly how many liters of water can I save if I implement these structures in this particular neighborhood. So for that, we have done a written period analysis to see how much rainfall needs to be simulated. From that, we have simulated a 1 year rainfall of 54 mm. These were the proposed BJ elements. Now, while there were many structures, these elements were identified suitable for the study area. After that, the roads of the study area were mapped and properly roadside greenery, stormwater trees have been planted. These are the placements and the cross sections. I'll quickly jump to the results. If you can see, the infiltration loss in the base case scenario was 40,52,000, whereas it increased by 1,14,000. So we were increasing the infiltration loss by 1,14,000 liters. The surface runoff was decreased by 27,26,000 liters. Now all the surface runoff that was decreased, it is converted into storage. An amount of 27,61,000 liters of water was stored in these structures temporarily for the time being, so that once the flooding decreases, these can be again moved out. And a flooding loss of 3,94,000 was decreased. So this is the BGI plan for Machilipatnam and the 5 proposed strategies. Thank you. So the project was carried under the supervision of Dr. Shanmuga Priya ma'am, who is a principal investigator, Dr. Lily Rose ma'am, co-principal investigator, Dr. Rajkumari ma'am, Bhargav Teja sir, and myself. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for the informative presentation.
Now we invite Assistant Professor Zoba, Department of Planning, for sharing with the audience a short presentation on urban planning efficiency with specific focus on disaster resilience and management.
Respected Director, sir, respected heads of the department, our esteemed guests, dear professors and dear students, a very good evening. Today being the World Habitat Day and this year's theme being Urban Crisis Response, it is very important that we initiate dialogues. We try to share our experiences with each other and grow as a community. Now, for today, I was given the sub-theme, which is bringing in efficiency in urban planning. So, before we get into that, let us first understand what efficiency is in the first place. Generally, we say that a research design is efficient when a research design is very good when it is efficient in terms of time, cost, and labor. In order for me to elaborate on this statement, let me cite one example. All of us would have watched this very famous movie by Christopher Nolan called Tenet. It's a palindrome word. I'm sure all of us would have watched that movie. In the climax sequence, you would have seen that the protagonist of the story, along with his friend, they basically form two teams. One team which is moving forward in time, and there is another team that moves backward in time or in the inverted time. Basically, they carry out something called as the temporal pincer movement, and they try to detonate the bomb that was set by someone called as Saturn. So, why I'm citing this example is because as planners, engineers, and architects, we need to have this innate ability to foresee these urban challenges. And we try to come up with multifunctionality aspects to come up with solutions and solve these issues that we are facing. One very famous case study that I could cite or I could think of was in Singapore. There is a park called as Bishan Ang Mo Kio Park, which was initially a concrete canal, and it was converted into a very lush green meandering river, which is not just aesthetically pleasing, but it also acts as a natural flood control system. So they have converted into a multifunctional asset as such. This leads me to take a particular aspect of today's sub theme, which is how do we bring in efficiency in urban planning and how do we create a balanced proactive and a reactive approach when it comes to disaster risk management. So, for this, I would like to cite one of the studies that was taken in the year 2018 by OECD, which is the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. They had collaborated with a German Economic Development Board and GIZ. So, what they had done was they had taken 5 Southeast Asian cities, and they had tried to make assessments like a vulnerability assessment using a very comprehensive questionnaire as such. And whatever the inferences were, they had tried to integrate it with the local resilience action plan. While they were doing this, these were the following inferences, which I will just, in a very short manner, just present it to you. So, one of the cities is Bangkok, the capital city of Thailand. Another city is Iskandar, a city in Malaysia. Both of these had performed well because they had advanced technical capacity and strong institutional support. This being said, as it is facing severe flooding and a land subsidence, we could also find that there were zoning regulations when you look into the master plans, but it didn't go beyond the peri-urban areas. So when a disaster occurs, it is not just doesn't just occur in some political division as such. So we need to look at it in a macro level scale. This was one of the problems that they had highlighted. Next, coming to Bandung, a city in Indonesia, and another city which is Cebu, which is an island city in Philippines. These two majorly faces floods, and Cebu majorly faces coastal erosions. In these two cities, what they had identified was they had very limited technical capacity, and what they also found was there were reports on sustainable urban development where they had earmarked eco-sensitive areas, but these were never integrated with the master plans as such. And finally, the fifth Southeast Asian city being Haiphong, which is in Vietnam. Over here, we find that there is a constant sea level rise, and they found that the technical capacity was very minimal. And also, what they found was they had very reactive responses. That is, their preparedness level was much lower when compared to other cities as such. So these inferences were gathered together, and they felt that it is important that we quantify them, and we also quantify the fiscal resource allocation which is required. Thereby, this leads me to the next important aspect, which is disaster risk financing mechanism. So what you do is, while you're preparing your local area or local resilience action plan, whatever inferences you try to gather, you try to quantify the fiscal resources that are required on one hand. But we should also come up with very effective risk financing mechanism. So all the three organizations together, if I have to just sum it, they had come up with a risk layering approach, wherein if at all these cities are facing disasters consecutively, that is within a year, you're consecutively facing something like cyclones, like 3-4 cyclones in a year. For that, they had proposed something called as the contingency funds, which is nothing but it is like a reserve fund. So this is the first layer that they had suggested. The advantage is that there is the ability to respond to it quickly. The disadvantage is that the local governments are heavily dependent on the national reserves. And also another disadvantage being who is going to activate these contingency funds. Hence, it was proposed that we take a decentralized approach, and there is also clarity when we are trying to activate these contingency funds. This is the first mechanism. The second mechanism is the insurance that all of us know about, where each of the citizens, we pay the premiums. The insurer, what he does, he gets all these premiums, he collects it as a pool, and when there is a disaster occurring in a particular city, only a part of his capital is invested as a relief fund. It is released as a relief fund. So this is insurance. The next being catastrophe bond, which is the third layer, and a catastrophe doesn't occur very frequently. So, in a catastrophe bond, it is a financial instrument wherein the government or the insurance company they transfer their risk to any private player or to the investors in this case. So if I have to cite an example again, in this case, what you do is the government as such they create a catastrophe bond, they issue it to an investor for say $100 billion or something like that, and if the disaster does not happen, the capital with the interest rate, because the risk in such events are higher, which is close to 9 to 10%, they give the interest with the capital to the investors. If the disaster occurs, then most of the capital gets released as a relief fund. So these were the three important disaster finance mechanisms that they had suggested. And why it is important is because we are trying to layer the risk. So this is called as risk layering approach. Hence, I would like to end this by saying by spreading the risk across multiple mechanisms, we ensure liquidity for immediate response. We also ensure or prevent systemic shocks. We strengthen the resilience. And we also reduce the reliance on any one type of funding approach. Thereby, we ensure urban growth in a protected, adaptive, and we are more prepared towards the uncertainties that we are facing. With this, I would like to end the speech. Thank you.
Thank you for your informative presentation.
Now we have a presentation by Muskan from MEPM second year on the topic Climate Risk Assessment for Large Religious Gatherings.
PPT.
Yeah. No, no, not this one. A very good afternoon to one and all present here, our respected director sir, our esteemed guests, respected faculties, and all my fellow SPVNs. I'm Muskan. I'm an architect by profession, and I'm pursuing masters in environmental planning in School of Planning and Architecture, Vijayawada. My tentative thesis topic that I'm looking forward to links the idea of public gatherings or large public gatherings with the climate assessment modeling. The idea of large public gatherings in India is one of the most one of the discussed topics in India. In the recent weeks, we saw major festivals like the Ganesh Chaturthi, the Durga Puja, and other festivals where the public gatherings was one of the most observed topics. So, in case of India, these religious festivals also fall along with a lot of
seasonal variations in terms of monsoons as well as the rising heat waves. So when we look at the case example that I've taken of the city of Mathura, so in the context of Mathura, it is a city that not only falls in the river banks of Yamuna River, but also some of the major religious activities that take place are very much related to the seasonal calendar that collides with the climate issues that the city faces. So, in terms of urban heat islands, we have major fests or the melas, what we call, and in terms of monsoon season, we have the festivals like Janmashtami and the parikramas that happens. So in that case, the city faces a lot of issues in terms of the collision of the public gatherings along with the issues of urban heat island and the urban floods. So uh, in recent times, the estimation of how large the gathering takes place has been estimated. So for a city of with a population of just 6 lakhs, it caters to a estimated population of 5 million devotees annually. And at the same time, the rising issues of urban floods and urban heat islands are some of the major concerns, which has caused a lot of issues in terms of the public the quality of life of the city, of the people living in the city, as well as the people coming to the city for the religious tourism. So, coming to the objectives that my study talks about, it is a threefold approach. So, the first is to analyze how a tourism driven city or how a tourism driven settlement growth affects the vulnerability that the people face in the city. Then, to develop a climate risk assessment based model to bring out the ideas of critical thresholds and emergency responses which respond to the thresholds, and then finally to give targeted mitigation as ideas or suggestions to help out the pilgrimage as well as the people living in the city. Some of the analytical tools that can be incorporated for these for the study are the remote sensing based indices in terms of the vegetative index, water index, as well as the surface temperatures. Then the multi-criteria decision analysis, which helps us identify the vulnerability in terms of the climate risk. Then the hotspot analysis to check which areas are most affected and require interventions. And then finally the LULC analysis to overlay the existing flood mapping along with the existing uh, s- uh, scenario of the city. Then the expected outcomes that will be based in this thesis will be a climate risk vulnerability assessment framework or a model that answers the pressing issues, as well as the suitable tourism or a crowd management model. Huh. Talking about the applicability of my study in the case of India, based on the various festivals or the public gatherings that we see, in terms of heat waves, we have examples from Kerala and Ladakh, and in terms of monsoons, we have a large number of examples in terms of the major states like Assam as well as Odisha and Bengal. So, in that sense, to overlay the climate issues along with the aspects of public gatherings, this thesis works out. Thank you.
Thank you for your engaging perspective on climate risk assessment for large religious gatherings. Up next, we have Tanisha from MURP, second year, to present on the topic Urban Climate Justice through Housing for Vulnerable Communities.
A very good evening to the to our esteemed director sir, esteemed guests, respectful faculties, and fellow SPAvians present here. So I am Tanisha from MURP second year. So I'll be presenting on the topic urban climate justice through housing, planning for flood and heat resilience in Chennai's vulnerable communities. So urban climate justice recognizes that marginalized populations often they are least responsible for climate change disproportionately suffer its effects due to pre-existing inequalities and inefficient infrastructure. So Chennai is one of the city which faces a critical dual climate crisis of compounding heat and flood risk. My study argues that addressing this requires a mandatory focus on vulnerable communities, particularly through housing planning. So, Chennai is a hotspot for both extreme heat and devastating flood. The city is experiencing a severe urban heat island effect. The maximum air temperature has seen a decadal rise of 1.2 degrees Celsius. The nighttime land surface temperature has increased by 1.5 degrees Celsius, and the nighttime heat has severely impacted the health of the people. There is a significant the significant 56 percentage of people in Tamil Nadu, they are regularly exposed to air temperature greater than 35 degrees Celsius, facing extreme heat stress. And the core built up area of Chennai has grown by 26% between 1985 and 2015, shrinking the natural cooling and increasing the impervious surface, which exhibits flooding. So next is the general population has high financial and structural resilience. In contrast, the vulnerable population in resettlement sites they face systematic injustice. So resettlement sites are critically vulnerable. During the 2015 floods, ground floors of the resettlement colonies they have experienced 5 to 6 feet of submersion, rendering housing unlivable and the cutting of mobility for over 10 days. Majority of housing issues, 65.7%, involve water leakage, damp walls, and cracks. Uh, Community surveys were conducted, which confirms that water intrusion is the most frequent deficiency, compromising basic health and resilience. Resettlement density is 196% of national building codes remit, increasing the acute exposure. Informal workers they faced a projected 5.8 percentage loss in working hours due to the heat stress, further crippling the post shock recovery. Risk comparison radar chart shows the resettlement colonies face significantly higher structural risk, systematic overcrowding, and recovery time compared to the general population. So, my research objective and outcome is to map dual risk hotspots using GIS mapping, overlaying satellite thermal data with official flood zones and vulnerable housing location, and to identify the structural vulnerabilities, analyze resettlement colonies using converted community survey data to prove that the structural risk drivers, and evaluate policy gaps, review the master plans and housing schemes, against the global resilience goals to find where current strategies fail in lower income communities. The final step will be to propose planning oriented interventions to realistically improve resilience and equity at neighborhood scale. So the expected outcomes are spatial vulnerability mapping, structural risk assessment, and a policy gap analysis, which will lead to actionable planning recommendations. So we must move beyond the simply relocating communities. We must also ensure that publicly mandate housing does not actively increase the physical risk. Urban climate justice demands that planning actively builds resilience, particularly for those who bear the heaviest burden of dual climate crisis. Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate your research and dedication on the topic urban climate justice through housing.
Next, I welcome students from MARC program to share their presentation on Vanishing Blue Urban Commons. First up, we have Ashwati A, MUD second year.
How do I go next? This is the next. This is the previous. This is the first.
Very good evening to everybody present here. My name is Ashwati and I am currently in the final year of Master of Urban Design course. On the occasion of World Habitat Day, I would like to speak about vanishing blue urban commons with respect to role of lakes in urban fabric as climate and community infrastructure. So I would like to start with the definition of commons by saying that commons are not open access but self-governed system of shared resources managed by communities through rules and cooperation. It was introduced by Elinor Ostrom in her book titled Governing the Commons in 1990, which laid a theoretical foundation. Though she focused majorly on rural natural resources such as forest, fisheries, and irrigation systems, it laid an institutional framework which inspired later urban applications. This can be seen in books written by various authors such as David Harvey's Rebel Cities, From Right to the City to the Urban Revolution, and also other books such as The Co-City and Discuss the Politics of Urban Commons, written by Brescian and Bryan, Christian Bosch and Martin Kornberger's Urban Commons Rethinking the City, and various other books. Key terminologies associated with urban commons include shared resources, collective management, social benefit, and community driven. To start with the global framing, I would like to take the example of Cheonggyecheon stream in Seoul, South Korea. Throughout its history, the stream has played different roles in the city until it was covered by an elevated highway in the 1970s. For over 30 years, this natural artery remained hidden, and it has been done to accommodate the rapid urbanization and industrial growth. The natural urban water commons has been disappeared for decades, which resulted in the loss of habitat, elevated urban temperatures, and reduced public access to water-based recreational spaces. Though this has been the case, it has now been restored. It was a project which began in 2003 to 2005 and revealed the importance of reclaiming the urban blue infrastructure. On the contrary, the Lake Victoria, located in East Africa, one of the largest lakes in Africa, has suffered from decades of pollution, invasive species, and overfishing. Urban and industrial expansion around the shores has accelerated its ecological decline. This has been led to extensive discharge of untreated domestic and industrial waste throughout the nearby cities, invasive species, which has caused mass extinction of native fishes, and also things like catchment changes and climatic change, which has impacted the decline of the lake. Coming to India, Bangalore can be taken as a case of vanishing blue, where historically a city of 1,000 lakes, it had a network of over 270 interconnected lakes and tanks which formed a natural drainage system. The lakes provided groundwater recharge, flood buffering, and also microclimate moderation and community spaces. With rapid urban expansion, real estate encroachment, and sewage inflows, the industrial pollution have degraded many of these lakes. There are studies that indicate that 40 to 50% of lakes have vanished or have been converted in the past 50 years. Remaining lakes are either fragmented, polluted, or poorly connected. This evolution of maps talks about how from 1973 to 2020, the built-up and vegetation has come down significantly. From 1973, you can see that the green cover has been in significant amount. Almost 90% of the area was in green cover, whereas only 10% was built up. But by the time it reached to 2020, it has been completely reversed with very less vegetation seen over in and around Bangalore, and the built-up has been almost covering the entire area. This is one such lake example, the Dharmambundi Lake, which is a classic example of a lake that has vanished due to urbanization. It was once a significant water body and has been encroached upon and ultimately replaced by the city's main bus terminus, the Kempegowda bus stand, which highlights how development can destroy the natural resources. So starting from 16th century, it was initially a functional urban lake, and then it started declining and drying up. It got converted to open grounds in 1900s to 1950s, and 1916 onwards it has been used as a bus terminus. There are several other lakes such as the Siddhapura Lake, which got converted for residential development in Jayanagar or Siddhapura first block, Tyagaraj Nagara Lake, Sunkal Tank, and Kormangala Lake, which has been again converted for various infrastructural uses. But sadly, the list doesn't end here. These are some of the other researches that talk about how the Bangalore's lake has been depleting, and the major cause has been urbanization. 85 to 90% of lakes are heavily polluted due to either sewerage or industrial effluents and solid waste. And they all point out to one main thing, that is the urbanization. So various contributors for urbanization include land conversion and encroachment, pollution from urban sources, disruption of hydrological connectivity, over-extraction and water diversion, and also loss of traditional management practices. Urbanization has not only encroached upon Bangalore's lake, but has polluted, fragmented, and disconnected them by replacing living ecosystem with community commons with concrete. So in terms of way forward, we can think about various aspects such as ecological restoration and rejuvenation, which can connect feeder channels to restore the traditional cascade system of Bangalore and can be used for other cities as well. Integrated urban water management, climate responsive and community-centric design, co-management and community stewardship, as mentioned by Eleanor Ostrom's Common Pool Resource Framework, and also legal and policy reforms, which play a major role in implementing these changes. These are some of, again, the case studies that, as mentioned by one of the faculties, the Singapore's Bishan Ang Mo Kio Park, which is a prime example of dechannelization and naturalization to restore a vanishing river common. And also in China, the concept of sponge cities has been introduced. Even in India, Bangalore itself, the Kaikontrahalli Lake stands out as a successful example of a community-led multi-stakeholder approach, which is a recreational space now and an ecological heaven. Even in Germany, the similar case can be seen. So to conclude, I would like to say that the story of Bangalore's lakes is not just a local crisis, it's a global warning. As cities expand, our commons are shrinking. In the spirit of World Habitats Day's call for urban crisis response, reclaiming our blue infrastructure becomes more than restoration. It is reimagining of cities where ecology and community coexist in resilience. Thank you.
Thank you so much on your presentation on Vanishing Blue Urban Commons. Next up, I would like to invite Bhupendra, MSA, second year.
With the theme of urban crisis response on the bird and the challenge of livelihood at a bird. We do talk about many challenging risk points when we talk about this crisis on the urban level. One such that topic is WASH, water, sanitation and health, being the major impact of today's society. When we go on to a day of life, suddenly water being incorporated into our lives as a flood, as a cyclone. All the sanitation keeps going behind, where we see the degrade of water keeps coming up in the quality and quantity. When I talk about it in the numbers, and then when I talk about it in the research, when I talk about it in the form of experiments, the reality matters. When we talk about this, all the solutions being proposed with the Sustainable Development Goal number 6, we have studied and understood that there is a lack of source of water today. We have seen that 2.6 billion people have gained access to improved drinking water quality, at 663 millions are at to reach. And we do see in the Indian context, there is 18% of whole world population, and we see only 4% of river challenges in this country. And when we talk about the common facilities, when we talk about these reasonable facilities, we see that when we have facilities, when we keep approaching with calamities, when these calamities keep coming up, we need sanitations, we need methods to prove that, we need the attention towards giving the response to the social urban infrastructure, where WASH plays an important role. When I talk at the urban population at risk, India's urban population is projected to reach 600 million by 2030. Rapid urbanization often outspaces infrastructure development, leaving millions vulnerable. When we talk about the disaster between 1990 to 2019, India stands number 3 in the world rank of disaster management, where we still are behind in terms of disaster infrastructure. And when we talk about the health crisis, we have seen COVID-19, one of the big lessons to all of us. And we have seen 485,000 of people keep die on diarrhea every year. And when we also focus on other data of 2 lakhs of people, that is majorly children, keep dying with these diarrhea cases. With all these problems at one side, we do have solutions like the schemes, policies being meant for, like Swachh Bharat Mission, like the Jal Jeevan Mission, like the Atal Yojanas, almost all these things. So these are just not statistics. These are the lives behind it. There are dignity of every urban citizen behind it. When WASH fails, the entire recovery effort is compromised. Let's be a step to it. Let's walk into our history. The traditional wisdom we do have in Mahabharata, where reviving these technical aspects, at one say, our ancestors have understood this resource management. They have brought us this real technical aspects, like we do have the ERI systems of Tamil Nadu, we do have the planning systems of Manduas of Andhra Pradesh, we do have the rainwater harvesting pits of every city, we could say, and we do have the major impacted step wells of Rajasthan, Gujarat, helping with this water crisis all over us. And when do we talk about this natural aided techniques like water infiltration methods like biosand method, which is like an Indian knowledge system which showed people that we could do this particular solution as a filtration method. And one thing that would come up is gatherings of social for this particular as a solution. And we don't always need to complex technology for everything. Let's go back for common solutions. Washing hands became a solution during COVID-19. In the same way, everything has a solution through our ancient roots. Well, when we talk about the innovative solutions, rapid response, we do have the kits. These particular kits are available, but there is a lack of awareness when we talk about this. We need to be having these wash-in units, wash-in boxes, and mobile solar water units everywhere. Finding out the solutions for the problems has been theoretical. this particular thing also needs to be seen. Where do we need to place these things? Slums need the uh, driven attention for these particular solutions. Every city, we think that our city won't be flooded, but suddenly it will be flooded. We won't have this particular kits. Let's start incorporating such kits in our house, like first aid kits we do have. Similarly, they help in maintaining the quality of water in urban level. Let's go with a holistic framework. This particular framework that we would see is from the reference of the Spear Handbook, which helped the people of Indonesia in providing water management, and also they have stated it in the 6 standards, where each standard have incorporated from the user level to designer level, where everything has focusing on the hygiene of wash in every particular aspect. Ultimately, a resilient urban crisis response for a wash is not just a reacting, it's about anticipating, preparing, and empowering. And to conclude, before I conclude, let's not thank everybody, let's not sit for everything. Let's keep discussing these solutions. At least one among these will start evolving to be a problem solving attention. We have all the sources, we have all the solutions, we have all the things. What we are lacking is a framework. When do we have a framework? We need to have policies. When do we have policies? We need to have a proper leaders. We architects and planners, urban designers, sustainable architects are meant to be the problem solvers and provoking thought process and research enthusiasts. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Thank you for your research and dedication.
Now we'd like to invite Professor Dr. M.L.S. Devakumar, FIE, Chairman, the Institute of Engineers, India, Andhra Pradesh State Center, Secretary and CEO, Board for Community Development through Education, Higher Education, Government of AP, and Dr. A.V. Naresh Babu, FIE, Honorary Secretary, IEI, AP State Center, and Director Professor Dr. Ramesh Srikonda on the dais to present Certificate of Excellence. We request the dignitaries to remain on the stage, please.
I would like to invite A.R.G. Vivekananda Swami, ex-chairman, Indian Institute of Architects, AP chapter, Dr. Sandeepani Vaje, chairperson, Indian Plumbing Association, Amravati chapter, and Dr. G. Karthik, chairman of Hyderabad Center IUDI, to present themselves on the dais. I would also like to invite Sri Rama Vimalingeshwara Rao P, Executive Committee Member, IIA, Indian Institute of Architecture, AP Chapter, onto the stage.
Good evening, all. Let us once again call the last four presenters and appreciate them for the way they have supported the essence of this event. The presence of dignitaries on stage, the presence of SPAVians off the stage, this is a regular thing. With all due respects to all the invitees and the people who made this event possible, but this event has been made academically more viable, academically more meaningful and purposeful by these four presenters. The first one, Miss Muskan of MEPM second year, if she is still here. Miss Muskan, please come on stage. Miss Tanisha, MURP second year. Miss Aswati, MUD second year. Last but not the least, Mr. Bhupendra, second year MSA. On behalf of all of us present here and the ones who conveniently skipped some 10-15 minutes back slowly like red ants and thinned the auditorium, on behalf of all of these people, let us and on my behalf, we heartfully thank these four speakers, four presenters who made this very meaningful by their participation. And the mementos of honor would be given away by director on the next upcoming event. So please be present for all the events from today onwards. We don't know when that memento of honor will be given. So please make your presence felt physically and emotionally also. And emphatically, Bhupendra, you can join the speakers. Sure. And Mr. Bhupendra, for his emphatic presentation, I felt as if a crisis is already there and he is responding. And on a lighter note, I would like to give him a real-time memento with the permission of the director and the dignitaries on stage. He deserves this. Yes, the anchors can take over.
Next, I would like to request Dr. Ramesh Srikonda sir and KV Uma Maheshwara Rao sir to felicitate the dignitaries. First up, I would request Professor Dr. Ramesh Srikonda sir to felicitate Professor Dr. MLS Devakumar, FEI, Chairman IEI, the Institute of Engineers, India, AP State Center. Next, I would request Professor Dr. Ramesh Srikonda sir to felicitate AR Architect G. Vivekananda Swami, ex-chairman, Indian Institute of Architects, AP chapter. I request KV Uma Maheshwara Rao sir to felicitate Dr. Sandeepini Vajay, Chairperson, Indian Plumbing Association, Amravati chapter. I request Sir to felicitate Dr. G. Karthik, Chairman of Hyderabad Center, IUDI. Next up, I will request Sir to felicitate Sri Rama Bhima Lingveshwara Rao P. Executive Committee Member, IIA Indian Institute of Architect, AP Chapter. I request Dr. Srinivas Deketi Sir to felicitate Professor Dr. Ramesh Srikonda, Director, SPA Vijayawada, and ITPI Council Member.
This is specially designed.
We would also like to mention that the mementos are designed by Santosh P, Assistant Professor of SPAV, and Professor Dr. Srinivas Daketi, Professor of Head of Architecture Department at SPAV.
Can we go? Yeah.
We would like to thank all dignitaries present on the dais.
The floor is now open for a brief Q&A and informal discussion. We welcome questions from the audience. We now like to move forward to the quizzes.
One second, let's see. Yeah, we can present it.
కంట్రోల్ పీనా కాదు చెప్పు చెప్తా కరెక్టే నువ్వు పెట్టేది వచ్చింది
Yes, you can. So
Good afternoon to everyone present here. Myself Sanjeevan and this is Shahnaz. We'd like to present the quiz as a part of World Habitat Day and World Architecture Day 2025. So the quiz will be taking part in Mentimeter, where we can scan the QR as well as use the code to join. So I request everyone to either scan the QR or use the code in the Mentimeter website. And
The code is.
sir. Yeah, for people who have network issues, please try using logging in through the college Wi-Fi. Sir.
So guys, the website is menti.com and the code is given above. That's 25765103.
And we'd also like to give you guys a brief on how the quiz will be running. So there will be 15 questions in a total, and there will be 45 seconds given for each question. It will be MCQ based, and it's also based on how quick and how correct you guys answer the question. And there will be a leaderboard out of which the top 9 participants will actually get prizes.
Guys, when you're writing your name, write your name, your what is it? Your branch and your year.
And that won't be required for faculties, sirs and ma'ams. And yes, sir, you also can participate, sir. So is everyone able to access the quiz? Is there any issues? Network.
Blank.
Yeah, can you guys maybe can I have a raise of hands if you guys face any issues? How many of you? Is it internet based issues or anything related to Mentimeter? Internet issue. Sorry.
Yeah. Right now, you'll get this page on your phones.
Yeah, so it is just a confirmation that you've logged into Mentimeter. Yes.
Hope everyone got a screen like this.
You won't get the questions right now on your phone.
As soon as we move the slides, then you'll get the questions.
Yes.
So by now, 82 participants have joined.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess so.
So actually, you can start.
So we so far have 83 participants. I'm guessing everyone's using 2 phones or 3 phones to answer. Yes, sir. Yes. So there are 60 players ready. So I'll be starting the quiz now. So please answer the questions quickly to get more points. What is the main goal of World Habitat Day? And the options are to celebrate architecture styles, to promote luxury housing, to reflect on the state of human settlements, and to honor famous architects. I'm guessing the question's a little straightforward, guys. So
We have prizes in the end too, so
I think most probably the answer would be to promote luxury housing, but let's see. And yes, the time is up. And okay, 61 of you have answered correctly to reflect on the state of human settlements, and 2 of you guys have told to celebrate architecture styles and to honor famous architects. I mean, you know you can't. So guys, one good thing about it is even if you get it wrong, the results are going to be anonymous, and only the leaderboard, the people who answer correctly will be there. So you guys can actually take a risk if you guys need to. And the second question for the day would be,
what is the complementary color of violet?
we also want to take the podium to tell that we didn't make the questions. Yes, sir.
What is it? I have
You can tell that to the mic also.
I forgot.
Okay, answers time. So yellow is the correct answer, and 52 of you have responded to the correct answer. So yellow is the correct answer, and we also had a lot of confusion, I suppose, with the other colors.
Black.
Yeah, black, green, red. Okay. Okay, moving on to the next question. Mm, you tell.
As per CPWD guidelines and space standards for barrier-free built environment, the minimum turning radius for a wheelchair in is.
I think now the tricky questions actually come in. I was wrong. So it's 900 mm, 1200 mm, 1500 mm, and 1800 mm. Shahnaz, what do you think?
I have no clue. I don't know. I would totally do this.
What? 3 feet, 4 feet, 5 feet, 6 feet? Yes, sir. That's why 45 seconds was an ample time to. So 1500 was the right answer, and there was a confusion between everyone for 1200 and 1500, I guess. So moving on to the next question. Which Indian city is known for its planned urban design by Le Corbusier? As an urban design student, I would personally disown people who actually answer this wrong. And especially to my juniors here. You know the answer to this?
Obviously.
Let's see. I really wish to see who answers wrong for this. They're actually here for the fun part of it and not for the price part of it.
We shouldn't see even one wrong answer. It's like that is the question type. Oh my god.
Wow.
Okay, there are two wrong answers. Oh my god. It's good.
Ahmedabad and Pune, too much love for those cities, I guess. Okay, Le Corbusier would be proud of you, architects, guys. Come on. What does the term urban sprawl refer to? Vertical expansion of cities, development of smart cities, preservation of green belts, unplanned horizontal growth of urban areas. Any idea?
We learned this just
So
few
I'm
days ago, but I
guessing your
forgot.
classmates will answer it correctly. I also want to see who says preservation of green belts or development of smart cities. No offense to Master of Sustainable people. Okay, I knew this would happen. Preservation of green belts.
Which of the following best describes mixed use development? A single use industrial zone, a residential only neighborhood, a combination of residential, commercial, and recreational spaces, a temporary housing cluster. This is very.
I think we assumed a lot of first years would participate. Single-use industrial area, guys. It's not even architecture question. It's an English question. Come on, mixed use.
Mixed use. But it's okay. It might be a, you know, a mishap. It's fine.
Which concept promotes equitable access to housing, infrastructure, and services in urban areas? Urban equity, urban renewal, gentrification, tactical urbanism. Any idea? This is what people would think it is, but it's actually this. Okay, the answer is urban equity, and I'm very proud of people who put urban renewal and gentrification. Okay. Sir, no, sir. No, no.
No, not us.
Think after. It is actually usually present. It's not come yet.
Like, are you presenting? Has to come in then. No, no, no.
No.
It's like, 1 second. Why is it not happening? Yeah.
This is the leaderboard slate. Okay. Yeah, this is the top leaderboard, and I'm so happy my queen Beyonce is also here to do the quiz with us. Secret, I don't know how you're going to get your prize. Bhargav, Akanksha ma'am, Prajaya, vote goat. Okay. Interesting naming, guys. You know that since you guys are part of the leaderboard, you're supposed to be receiving prizes later, and I don't know how that is going to work. So moving on to the next question.
Architectural design today need not address climatic consideration, energy efficiency, stylistic affiliations, user response. Guys, this is very easy. Right?
Depends on the designer.
Just no. You want?
Yeah, 57 right responses, and couple people voting energy efficiency is not needed and user response is not needed. Good luck during your graduation. The answer,
No. What's the answer?
something related to the shit. That much I know.
Is it pronounced answer?
Hmm. Yeah, she's asking the question. Just tell the question.
Ramsar list is related to heritage buildings, seismic zones, wetlands, special economic zones. So,
Yeah, we'll be moving on to the next question. A major hole in the ozone layer is observed above the Amazon forest, Arctic region, savanna grassland, and Antarctic region. There is a good blend of EVS architecture and everything. If I knew this answer, I would be sustained. You don't answer. Okay, just like how I got confused between Arctic and Antarctic, I'm guessing a lot of people in the crowd also got confused. So the answer is Arctic region. Moving on to the next question. This will be last three questions. So guys, get on your fingers more faster, answer quicker and correct.
what does GIS stand for? Global Information System, Geological Information System, Geographic Information System, or Google Information System?
I am a little more than confident one person will answer Google Information System.
So the correct answer was Geographic Information System. Thankfully, no one did Google Information Systems.
I think we underestimated our friends a little too much.
Flying buttress is an architectural element of Indian architecture, Greek architecture, Gothic architecture, or Byzantine architecture. We've been learning this for the past 2 3 years. We've been learning this for the past 2 3 years.
Imagine going wrong with that.
If this comes. So the correct answer was Gothic architecture, not Indian, not Greek, not Byzantine. EIA stands for East India Association Environmental Impact Audit, Environment Impact in Asia, or Environmental Impact Assessment.
You had your fun with options. Environmental assessment.
Should we just click on the next?
So it was environmental impact assessment.
And final question for the quiz. What does SDG stand for? Sustainable Digital Goals, Social Development Goals, Sustainable Development Goals, Systematic Development Goals. 100%, sir.
So should we go to people first or?
Ask. It was Sustainable Development Goals, not Sustainable Digital or not Social Development, as KK sir suggested. Two people have listened to you, sir. So now we'll be presenting the winners.
So before we call them up on stage, can I have Professor Dr. MLS Devakumar, FEI Chairman, IEI AP State Center, as well as Professor Dr. Ramesh Konda, that is our Director of SPAV, to present the awards, please.
Yes. So we have Atira on the leaderboard. She'll be getting the first prize. You are expected on stage.
Everyone has a prize.
Yeah, so all the people that are on the list are actually having prizes. So I'll be calling them one by one. And Push, please bring Pull along.
The first nine.
And it is only 9.
Nine.
And
No,
the
there are
third prize goes to Ashwati.
only the first nine. This is 10 people.
Okay, I need to reach till here.
Yeah.
And for fourth, we have Lohitya. And for fifth, we have Secret. Sir, sorry for making fun of you without knowing, sir. And next place goes to Bhargava. Sir. Okay, then Bhargav sir is here. Who's Bhargava? Someone, please be on stage. And the next prize is to Shanti.
And then one person after the date of birth.
Okay. Yes. Yeah, yeah. And last but not least, we have Pushparang. So to all the participants and winners, the certificates will be issued later. Yes. Thank you, sirs. And thank you all for participating and keeping it active and fun.
That was truly impressive. Our compliments to everybody involved.
As we draw this formal event to a close, we invite Mr. Rajiv, Assistant Professor, Department of Planning, to deliver the closing remarks and the word of thanks.
Thank you, Pooja and Chelsea. So, on behalf of SP Vijayawada, I know that we've taken a lot of time. I thank each and everyone who's taken out their time and been here with us. But it's important that we acknowledge the efforts and the hard work that has been put in by a lot of people here. So, I take this opportunity first and foremost to extend my heartfelt thanks to Professor Dr. Ramesh Srikonda for thinking about that we have to commemorate this on the right day at the right time. So thank you very much, sir, for initiating this, first of all. Now, I thank Professor Dr. MLS Deva Kumar, from Institute of Engineers India, the AP State Center, and also all other members who have joined with sir to be part of this event. Thank you very much, sir. You have taken us, means you've put in a lot of efforts, and you've been constantly checking. And Mr. Ram was also checking with us on a regular basis. I thank Architect G. Vivekananda Swamy, sir, ex-chairman of Indian Institute of Architects, AP chapter. Thank you very much, sir, for being always a part of SP Vijayawada. I thank Dr. Sandeepini Vajje, the chairperson of Indian Plumbing Association, Amravati chapter. Thank you, madam, for joining us. I thank our faculty as well as the chairman of Hyderabad Center of IUDI, Dr. G. Karthik, sir, for being part of this and staying with us throughout. And there are many more delegates who has been there. Yes, I also thank Architect Bhime sir for joining us. I couldn't list your name in the meanwhile, so sorry very much. So there are many more hands who have put in a lot of efforts, and the kudos go to both the HODs from Planning and Architecture Department, Dr. Srinivas sir, who has been tirelessly working on many different aspects, and Dr. Prashant sir. He couldn't join because of an emergency, but they were behind this. I thank Akansha and Rohan, the coordinators who actually put in most of the efforts. Because of them only majority of these what we see now, including the quiz, has happened. I thank all the volunteers who have been tirelessly helping us backstage, on stage, bringing stuff, and they've been throughout with us. So thank you very much to all the volunteers. I request that the volunteer support is there with us throughout for all the upcoming events also. And last but not least, I thank Chelsea and Pooja also, who has been very actively involved and coming forward that, sir, we would like to compare for this event. So thank you to Chelsea and Pooja. They are from our BARC program. So thank you to the young anchors for the day. We have two quiz masters who has made a very interesting quiz show and made it quite lively with the Mentimeter also. It was a good experience for all of us who's been here. So kudos to both of them. Thank you very much, quiz masters. They're all busy discussing behind. I thank the IT team for their endless support and for all-time support for all the functions, and thank you everyone, all students who've been part and parcel for this program. Thank you very much. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable words.
Thank you to all our dignitaries, speakers, participants, and attendees for making today's World Habitat Day celebration meaningful and impactful. I request everybody to arise for the national anthem.
Jana Gana Mana Adhinayaka Jaya He
भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
We wish you a pleasant evening ahead. The session stands concluded.
Thank you. Thank you.